What's up, everybody? Gojo here, and today we're going to be talking about Ironheart, the show that's been causing a lot of discourse and conversation online, good and bad, about its placement in Marvel, whether it's good, whether it's not good, the reasons people don't find it good, racism, all that, and underneath. I'm going to be addressing some of the controversies that I think people have misconstrued. Trying my best to be unbiased as possible because I do have a couple critiques for the show that I think I'll get out of the way later rather than now, because I don't want it to seem like I'm just harping on the negatives for the show. I actually really do enjoy it, and I'm excited for the next few episodes that are coming out. First off, people perceive Riri Williams as some sort of criminal or somebody who is doing crimes or a morally bad person that isn't a hero. Why is this show made about her, a superhero show made about her, if she's not a superhero? This is an origin story. That's one thing you need to get out of the way. You need to understand right away. The reason that she takes up this offer from I forget his name, Cloak or whatever. No, his name is not Cloak. Hood. I think his name's Hood. Hood, on God. Okay. The reason she takes this deal and leaves MIT is because of the placement of restriction on her brain and her creativity when it comes to the work she wants to do for the world, and also for the most part her trauma that she's had in the past. A lot of the situations that occur and things that she does are stemmed straight out of her past related trauma to gun violence and crime in her neighborhood, and her best friend passing away due to that crime in her neighborhood. And these memories and kind of things that stem up are a lot of the cause for the way she is. And we see this in later Iron Man movies, and the same thing occurs with Tony Stark. A lot of the reason that his upbringing and the person he became was the person he became was because of the way he was raised by his father, because of the company he was raised into. It all makes sense for a reason. These people are like this for a reason, and that is something that this show with the first 3 episodes is trying to exemplify. It's the reason they didn't just drop one episode and have you think she's a criminal. They want you to understand that there's a reason that she's doing all this. She's not just a career criminal that wants to do bad. She's someone who wants bad to stop happening, specifically the kind of bad that she had happened to her in her past. She wants to put some sort of armor around the world. She wants EMT services to have the means to get to the people they need to get to immediately. But some people are still hung up on the fact that she had did some wrong in the beginning of her story. The fact that she is a criminal. This is something that is apparent in Marvel. We don't just have perfect idolized figures that just become superheroes like Superman because they had the perfect life growing up and nothing was ever wrong and they just decided to do good. We have people that went through events in their life that caused them to become superheroes because they realized things about the world that they didn't understand before. They realized things about themselves that they didn't understand before. Riri Williams, just like a lot of characters, like Tony Stark, for example, is a character that has narcissistic traits in the beginning, but starts to recede on those narcissistic traits to then further help people. And I think this is shown in the last episode. So, other examples of people in the Marvel franchise being criminals in the beginning and changing later is Ant-Man. We have the Guardians of the Galaxy starting off in jail. And then obviously even Tony Stark just selling weapons to people around the world to whoever would give him money. That is something that is very apparent in the first Iron Man movie. And I think that the first Iron Man movie is a almost mirror to what they were trying to do with Ironheart's first 3 episodes. Another one of the biggest complaints that I've been seeing is that she questioned whether or not Tony's intelligence or Tony would be the person he is if he didn't have the money he had. And a lot of people have taken this and they've run with it as something that is a detriment to his character, something that is disrespectful, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think it's very in character for Riri to say something like this, and I also think it begs the question of what is Iron Man, who is Iron Man, and who is Tony Stark? Is Tony Stark the money? Is he the situation? Is he a person? And I think they wanted the fan base to beg this question. You guys have honestly preferred a situation where Riri just glazed Tony and respected him and only thought of him as the goat that she couldn't surpass this entire time, when she never even met him, has never interacted with him, and isn't even his true successor. She's just a spiritual successor to him. She doesn't even take his mantle. She takes the Ironheart name, which is a new name, not Iron Man, not Iron Girl, Ironheart. It's something that has inspiration from the original, because obviously she can't replace the original. She's her own character, which I think is something that's very distinct and different about her. Now, the third thing I wanted to talk about was Nat's backstory, which is something that I do have a critique with. I do personally think is something that's a problem. In the beginning, I thought it was really cool how she fell asleep and sort of her trauma and dreams created the AI, and that was a big part of her character, and how interacting with this AI was kind of troubling. Um, there is a small critique with that, though. I noticed a lot that they had portions of the show where Riri would question why the AI knew things about her that AI shouldn't know, which in my head is pretty stupid, because most of the things that the AI was knowing or knew how to do, like for example, her calming her down, she questioned, "How do you know how to calm me down? Only the real Natalie could calm me down." I think that is something that's pretty stupid to put in there, because Riri was there for that. She remembers how Nat used to calm her down. So, of course, the AI version of Natalie from her dreams and memories would also know how to calm her down. Like, is that not double apparent? Overall, the last 3 episodes ended off on this downright chaotic and stress inducing ending. So, the next 3 episodes, hopefully, since it's only 6 episodes, will resolve a lot of the conflict, show us her placement in Marvel as a whole, kind of conclude the story and knock out a lot of the kinks. Hopefully, morally, she is able to understand the complexity of having an AI of somebody without their permission, of somebody who people used to love that also didn't give permission for you to, as just a friend. It doesn't seem morally correct for her to do that, which is another thing that I had a problem with her showing her off in public. She didn't show her off, but she appeared in public, which was something that I thought was a little weird. I thought they should have kept Nat a little more secret. But you know what I mean. It is what it is. So honestly, a lot of the kinks are gonna happen. It's a Disney show. When these characters are placed in the full MCU, it will make sense. We just have to see. So honestly, when the next 3 episodes come out, I'll make a video on that, and hopefully, a lot of the things they fixed will be there, and if not, we'll just have to deal with it. That's pretty much all I got to say. I hope you guys have a good day and stay sturdy, my friends. Also, I have this new app where I'm uploading reviews of every episode, movie, and show that I watch. So if you guys want to follow me, here's my letterbox and my serialized. Yeah.